This is the Common Sense Party podcast. Our mission is to inform our listeners on topics that affect the everyday person. Today is April 24th, 2021. Our topics today are gun control, voter rights, DC statehood, white guilt versus BLM. Okay, the first one is gun control. These people are so scared that they're taking away a privilege. I don't understand that stuffer background checks are a problem. It's just that, let's say it for what it is. The Anglo-Saxons don't like to have someone tell them what to do. Yes, I said it. The background checks, limiting them to get what they want, they're going to take their guns. Democrats have never said they're going to take their guns. And just the old South getting scared because they're going to be without power. So I suggest all people go get a gun, and then they'll change the law. Because we all know once people of color start to go towards something, they'll go ahead and change the law and move the goalpost. Let's tackle this one. This is voter rights in Georgia. The people are, let's say, the new Georgia voting rights bill is a first way to suppress minority vote. Yeah, people say, all the people you hear say about it's about voter ID. It's not about voter ID. It's about limiting the people who have no money, low education, so they can have the rural voters take them over the top. They say they expanded early voting hours. Technically, yes. They did it for the counties that didn't have 7 to 7 in the rural areas, but it's also giving them an option to make it 9 to 5 everywhere. So that means that if you work a 9 to 5 job during early voting hours, you can't go out and vote. And long lines are where? In the places where minorities vote, not the rich white areas or the rural areas with low population. And again, it's not about it's not about identification. You have to they change the rules on the drop boxes. Yeah, increase is a minimum of 1 for all counties, but that's the minimum. They're gonna add 1 to the rural areas, but only have 1 for the urban areas. Urban areas, that's their way of saying black or people of color. And every time you have long lines, it's in the poor areas of people of color. But that's what they did, because they were scared shitless that we came out and voted in record numbers in the runoff and in the general election. Yes, they are scared. They are totally scared of losing power, and this is what they're going to do to keep the power. Why are police officers sympathetic to white suspects? Because that's what they see. That's who they see. That's who they grow up around with. They're more comfortable, just like job interviews. Most CEOs like to see who they see. Because they see that human person, not with anybody else. They've been taught that people of color, black people are animals. They're not human. They come in to rob and steal. And number 45 told them that rapists are coming from Mexico. So when they try to arrest us or try to intimidate us, that's what they see. They don't see a human. All we're asking for is being a human, because they arrested someone who killed 2 people, gave him water, gave him bandages, and they took him in, and he was white. Guess what? People of color, they will shoot you first and ask questions later. Why are Democrats scared to remove the filibuster? They're scared because they want to play fair. They want to be for the people by the people. But one thing they don't understand, you can't come to a gunfight with a knife. They're playing by the rules, and the other side is absolutely doing everything in their power to take it away. And the biggest obstacle is the dude from West Virginia, because he caucuses with the Republicans because he's into big business. He's not for the $15 minimum wage or anything for poor people, but guess what? He has stakes in hotels. That's not helping his bottom line if he pays someone. So he will do his best to keep the filibuster around, to keep the power, keep status quo. But what they don't understand, we need change. Change is coming, but the one thing is, it's not going to come as fast as people want. The change is going to be slow. It'll be incremental. It's like turning a huge cruise ship. Can't turn it on a dime. You got to make that big S curve. I think it's coming, but we got to be a little bit patient. But these kids nowadays might not be patient. So the filibuster may be here, but to counteract the filibuster, we got to do DC statehood and primary that dude from West Virginia. Why are polls wrong? Polls are wrong because people aren't telling the truth. They are scared of, I guess, the man or someone coming down to them and giving him beef about who they voted for. Yeah, like 74 million voted for Trump. Yep. Yes, you are racist. Yes, you are, because you want to keep rich white man in power that does nothing for you. You're racist or you're stupid. So I do apologize that I'm the one telling you this, but those people don't worry about the poor people in there, because all they vote for is their interests, not yours. When was the last time that someone in Washington voted for your interests? Would Donald Trump have won if he had given people $2,000 checks? Yes, he would have. He would have won by a landslide if he had given $2,000 checks to people. Yes, even black people would have voted for him, because everyone was wanting $2,000 checks because of the pandemic, and they would have voted for him lock, stock, and barrel. That's how close the election was. But I'm happy he didn't. I'm happy he fought with Moscow Mitch. So the Republicans want less government. So happy for that. That's why I got Biden and Harris in. And then Biden gave half of his promise. Didn't care. I didn't get any part of the stimulus. So I hope we get. Hope we get infrastructure through, DC statehood, all that good stuff. Why are Republicans afraid of fair elections? Because they're afraid because they're going to lose power. Did you see how they flipped out when Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, all the Democrats came out in those red states? Like, they're scared because poor people need. The wealth gap is crushing poor people. They gave access to people the right to vote, something that they never did. Gerrymandering, all that stuff, and why are Republicans afraid of fair elections? Because they don't want to see their power strip away. They made the changes after all the record turnout in Georgia. Since 1992, the state had been in red. As soon as they gave poor people the access to vote, they saw what it was, and they said, nope, we're going to change the goalposts, we're going to change the rules, just like how Kemp went ahead and purged your voter rolls so he can win the election. Like, I don't understand, how can you be Secretary of State and try to run for governor at the same time? Like, That's like stacking the deck, and nobody even batted an eye at it. So yes, they're afraid of fair elections because they don't want to lose power. And I always say, people in power will not give up power willingly.